Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to EduTap. I welcome you to another series of Toppers Talk. So I have with me today Mr. Ravi. He is recently been selected in RBI as a Grade B officer. Many congratulations to you, Mr. Ravi, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Kriti. I just forgot your name, Ritika, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
No problem. So, guys, I'll just give a brief introduction about Mr. Ravi. Rest he will be telling us about himself. So, guys, he has wide experience as far as I have gauged. He has a engineering background. Then he prepared for UPSC. He has attempted civil services examination 5 times and cleared several stages there. Then he has worked in SBI for a few months, and now currently when he was selected in RBI, he is working in NHB where he got selected in 2019. So wide ranging experience he has. He will be sharing with you the strategy of preparation as well as his experience with you. Sir, few more introductory lines from your end.
Thank you, ma'am. Means, as you already told, I did my mechanical engineering from IIT Guwahati in 2014. After that, I worked in State Bank of India. Then I prepared for civil services for 3-4 years. And side by side, I also started giving the banking exams. So then I joined State Bank, this National Housing Bank in 2019, and I gave RBI means in side by side. I was giving RBI, so I cleared this.
Okay, so like after UPSC and other exams you were giving, how did RBI happen to you? Because see, RBI, this post is not a very popular exam as we see. On the other hand, like banking examinations or UPSC, they're very famous. Many of the students prepare. About RBI, if I say, many of the people are not even aware about this exam. So how did it happen to you?
So even I wasn't aware of the exam. Then when I joined State Bank of India, at that time I got to know about this RBI exam. So yeah, I thought it would be a good opportunity. Then I resigned State Bank from SBI quite early and started preparing for UPSC. So for in 2-3 years, when I didn't clear that, so I started looking at backup options sort of as well. Then this post seemed like a really good opportunity.
So how are you feeling now? After like so many years, you have all the work experience and all, but are you like happy? Are you satisfied? Ki, haan, theek hai, I've got.
I'm happy. Obviously, I'm happy. Other than that, like I'm done. That part is now unbelieved. I don't have to prepare one more exam in the next 2 months.
Right, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like before we proceed to your preparation strategy, would you tell us that the wide experience of different examinations you had, did that help you in this examination?
Like sort of, yes. Like means I had my engineering, I done my engineering. So from that, my maths and reasoning were pretty good. So that helped in like phase 1 of the exam. Bank also previously I had given. Then my civil services part, it held in current affairs and in phase 2, like even the descriptive part and also ESI. Also that helped quite a lot there.
Okay, I asked this question for one more reason. Like there are students who are preparing for examinations, other examinations, so they should know that their other preparation, whatever they are preparing, quant, reasoning, is there in every competitive examination.
Yeah,
That is
means
helpful there here also.
Obviously, like if you're studying, what your syllabus is overlapping with almost every examination you want to give. It's a significant part of it is overlapping. So you study right now, whichever exam you're studying for, it will also help in next exam you give.
Right. So talking about the preparation strategy of phase 1, right? GA holds quite high weightage, 80 marks it is.
Yeah.
How did you prepare for it?
For GA part, like some of it I have already read from UPSC, and so I used it to use newspaper. Other than that, I did monthly affairs Cloud magazine. And then just before the phase 1 exam, there were various video lectures from many teachers, even you and others. So I watched those as well. Okay. And I just revised it 2-3 times.
So did you use to prepare your general awareness or current affairs on a daily basis?
Not really. Like I didn't have that much time for it. Like I used to read newspaper I'm reading newspaper for the last 4-5 years. But other than that, after the notification came out, I just read those monthly magazines.
Monthly magazines. Okay. And one more question related to the same that I get a lot from students is that monthly magazines are not like crisp. There are lengthy magazines. So many pages are there. So how to revise or retain all those things that we cover?
Like there are many, like each magazine had about 100 or so pages, right? So that you have to do. You just read it 2-3 times. The first time you have to mark important things like highlight them or something, and those highlighted part you revise it 2-3 times.
So that is required. You cannot say that you don't want to read and then clear the examination. Padna padega.
You are facing a competitive exam, so other guy, if those who are doing it, they're getting selected.
Right. And would you also like to share with us the strategy or the methods you followed for quant, reasoning, English?
For quant as reasoning, like my basics were clear from my education and earlier as well. Now, after the notification came out, I took a mock test series, and I did just like 20-25 papers. Mock tests I gave, so that helped me like increase and speed and all. It helped in that part.
So mock tests are basically important.
Yeah, for phase 1, like mock tests are the best thing you can do.
And they are available freely. Students can find the material.
Yeah, easily enough. Like I did practice mock, I believe. So it was not too costly, and many other are available freely as well. Like you can just buy a book and do from that.
I think that is fairly enough. You have told important sources. Mock test is important. Revision coverage of general awareness is to be done. Practice is required for quant and reasoning, right?
Yeah.
So let's move on to your phase 2 then. Please share your sources of FM as well as ESI.
For ESI, I did like from UPSC, I prepared for a few years. So I had basic background was clear from that. And other than that, I read like newspaper magazines, these monthly current affairs, and economic survey and budget. Yeah, for ESI, for the FM part, I took a material from a friend. He gave me material of EduTap from a few years back, 2018 or something. So I just revised that.
Okay, so like what I'm understanding is that for FM, because it is majorly static, current affairs is really less. So you can stick to one material, revise that and cover that well, right?
Yeah, just revise it 3-4 times. That will be much better than you reading like 3-4 things.
Right. And for ESI, on the other hand, as compared to FM, current affairs weightage is high. Yeah. So your magazine and budget and survey are anyhow important. Yeah, any other things also, like reports, for example? Would you like to mention few reports?
Reports, like you don't have really the time to cover many reports. So for that, you just read the newspaper coverage of them. I think that would be much better.
Okay, and how many months of current affairs should students cover? Like we usually say that 6 months you should cover for phase 2.
Like it's like I've been reading newspaper for the last 5-6 years, so the basic current affairs stay the same. Like on the same things, new things getting updated. So for this exam specifically, I covered last 4 months, but I have been reading it from quite a long time, so that part helped as well.
Okay, so basically newspaper reading will give students an idea of the developments going on. Even they will be able to relate to the syllabus better.
Yeah, newspaper reading I think is the most important part of it all.
And is there any like financial or business newspaper that you'd suggest?
Like for I think Financial Express is good one, really good.
Okay, so I think students, you must note these points because these are the queries that you have usually, right? So here we have a topper sitting with us telling you about all those things which he followed. So it must be useful to you guys. Okay. So acha, before like we move on further about like descriptive writing and all, I would want to ask in these years of your preparation, there are times when students feel demotivated. They feel what we are doing might not reap result, or they feel that probably we need to go, like to start preparing something else. How did you manage that time?
It was like, yeah, obviously at times you would feel like, okay, I'm not clearing it for quite a long time. But then even if you start preparing for something else, you'll have to go start from it at the very start. So the efforts you put in, you just continue doing it. The hard work, if you're working hard, it will pay off.
And sir, tell me one thing. How did you choose the examinations that you will appear in? Was there like, for example, banking examinations, UPSC? Because what happens is sometimes students end up choosing two examinations which are poles apart. They don't have much in common. So that is what I want you to answer.
It is like how much of what you're currently reading, studying, how much that syllabus overlaps with the new exam you are giving. So the basic part you're doing, keep it doing, keep a one main target, and then if there's take one or two topics extra, you just read it and give it the exam. But your 50, 60%, 70% of the time should be for the one exam you are really preparing for.
That's right, because even like RBI, there is other regulatory body examinations like NABARD. So there are a lot of common things are there, but still like agriculture, the static agriculture is a separate subject. So there students face very difficulty. They are feeling trouble. Like ये भी करना पड़ेगा, finance भी पढ़ो, agriculture भी पढ़ो.
ठीक है, but there's थोड़ा part अलग है, लेकिन 60% almost same है ही.
That's right. The pattern, the phase 1, phase 2, your GA, QRE, all these are common.
Yes.
Right. So idea is that stick to the common part that you should do really well, and then additional part you have to put in effort if you are choosing another exam. Very practical approach, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Right. So please, Acha, let's talk about your descriptive, because this time RBI changed the pattern and descriptive part was introduced.
Yeah.
And the preparation for the candidates who had the experience of NABARD, not NABARD, sorry, RBI. If for that matter, NABARD also, it was difficult for them. So how did you cope up with that?
Like writing means I have written answers, so that was good. Means so that had been made, and even the objective part was also for 50 marks each. And the English syllabus, English part has been descriptive since before as well. So I was doing, so that helped me in it.
Okay, and did you like practice keyboard typing also? Because typing speed I have seen is a concern.
Yeah, means that you should really means before you have to write the answers in exam, so you write mock tests and all that. You write answers from the keyboard.
Okay, few tips can you give to make answers more interesting or good answers?
It would be is like the more you write, the better you will get at it. Write more and more.
Practice basically is required.
Yeah, practice is the most important thing.
Okay, so like obviously, as you said earlier, that mock tests are required for phase 1. Similarly, practice for answer writing for phase 2.
Yeah, phase 2, you will also need that.
Right. Okay. So any book specific that you have in mind that you will suggest to the students for FM or ESI?
I myself didn't follow any books, so like I cannot suggest anything.
That's fairly enough actually. When this students have this doubt that probably there are books and students are not reading because they don't have time, but the idea is that stick to the sources that are there already.
Yeah, like you read from them and you revise it more, and revision is really
okay. Right. So I think that is pretty much about descriptive part. For English also, you said practice would be required for descriptive writing.
Yeah, for descriptive you need the practice to write well.
Okay. And moving on to your third part of the recruitment, your interview. So how did you prepare for interview? What was after you were done with phase 2? What was your strategy for interview preparation?
For interview, first of all, like I read newspaper on a daily basis. Other than that, means I was working at the National Housing Bank. So about the bank and all, the entire thing I read about that. And other than that, there is a book called RBI Functions and Working. So that I read a few times.
The book, I think that book is the PDF will be available on the website of RBI.
Yeah, it should be available there.
Okay, so that helped you. You feel that you can recommend to the students that they should go for it.
Yeah, means you should read the book. Means if you want to work for RBI, that book you should read.
And did you take any mock interview also?
I was able. Means I didn't take any.
Anyhow, you had experience of like you are.
Yeah, means I have given
Hmm.
interviews previously, so that part.
So that is a good thing. Anything else you'd like to add up for the let's say preparation, the study part for the students, that this is the way you should study, or these are the things you should not study, things like that?
It is like the more and more you should focus on studying rather than worrying about when the exam would happen, when notification would come. Rather than worrying about that part, you should study more, focus more time in that. अगर एग्जाम जल्दी हो रहा है तो ठीक है, तुमने पहले पढ़ लिया. लेट भी होगा तो ठीक है. If you are studying now, that will improve your chances to get through.
लेकिन sir, don't you feel that keeping patience कि नहीं, let me wait and just study is difficult? Because what I have seen is this is most difficult for students.
But you have to do it.
Yes, of course, because you cannot waste your time in worrying.
Yeah.
Right. So that was an insightful session. Very important and practical points you have shared with us. And we thank you again for your time on our channel. And we wish you all the best for your career ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.